The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Wednesday edition of the Friday Bonus Show. Producer Pat with you here today. For those of you here to watch the chess game between David and I, that'll be taking place later in the video portion of today's bonus show. But if you're just listening, you're not going to be able to hear that. We're just going to leave that out. It's not going to be in the audio feed for today, but if you want to later watch it, you can check out the video portion of the bonus show, or on Thursday I'll be publishing the chess game as a standalone video to the YouTube channel, free for the public, so everyone can check that out. So good stuff. I think we found a way to satisfy everyone on that front. But let's talk about a couple stories now. Barack Obama is in the news. He's stayed silent during the Democratic nominating process. And, that's pretty standard stuff for a former president because, one, you want to sort of leave your hands off the scale. You don't want to put your weight in favor of one particular candidate when you're just in the nominating process. But also, it would look bad for him if he was to endorse someone who ultimately didn't go on to win the nomination, because then he would have to change votes, and that undermines his value, his sway, and ultimately it's not good for Obama, it's not good for the candidate, it's not good for the party overall. So this is pretty standard operating procedure. In 2016, it was pretty clear that Obama, aligned with Hillary Clinton on policy and politics more than Bernie Sanders, but he waited until June of 2016 to endorse Hillary over Bernie Sanders, and that was at a time where the race was pretty much wrapped up. So in a similar way, Barack Obama has decided not to endorse Joe Biden in the 2020 primary race. Of course, if Biden was to win the nomination, Obama would come out and endorse him. But at this stage, Obama has stayed silent. Hilariously, Joe Biden has said that he doesn't want Obama to endorse him in the primary stage, which is just ridiculous because Biden would grovel at Obama's feet if he was given the opportunity. If Obama offered him an early endorsement, certainly Biden would take it. But there was apparently a meeting between Barack Obama and an unnamed Democratic candidate in which Obama said about Joe Biden, he really doesn't have it when connecting to the electorate in Iowa. Ouch. That's got to hurt. Obama said in the conversation that he himself doesn't really have the same connection that he once did with Iowa voters, and that Joe Biden certainly doesn't have it, I guess because that connection withers over time. And I really wonder who this unnamed Democratic candidate is. If I were to guess, I would say Pete Buttigieg, probably because he wouldn't be so willing, Obama wouldn't be so willing to open up to someone who doesn't really have much of a shot at winning the nomination. I don't think he would disclose this to Kamala Harris or Cory Booker. And I also don't think he would say it's a Bernie or Warren because I don't think Obama wants them to win. I think he definitely wants Biden to win. And if Biden were to fall for whatever reason, I think he would go with Buttigieg. So that's just why I'm speculating maybe he had this conversation with Buttigieg. But can this coming out, can this hurt Biden? Certainly it was good politics for whoever leaked it, whichever campaign put this out there, because I think Biden falling in the polls will help pretty much any other Democratic candidate. But I think this actually could hurt Joe Biden because Biden's running off of being Obama's VP. I mean, he's running off of being Obama's right-hand man, and that appeal that we want to go back to those old days when Obama and Biden were running things. Aside from that, I mean, his campaign kind of falls apart. And we can kind of see that, especially now with just watching him and how his cognitive state is, how he has trouble even just getting through a sentence, even just doing the basic things that you need to do as president, like communicate effectively. And so, I think that Barack Obama not willing to fight for him at a key stage of the race like now, that can't be a good look for him. And, it seems to us like Biden's going to fall at some point, he's going to drop off in the polls. I don't know at this point. I mean, I really don't. Elizabeth Warren caught him about a month ago. She became the front runner for maybe a few days, but then Biden got back to where he was. Now he has a 10-point lead over both Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I don't know. I don't really expect him to fade anytime soon, and we're going to start voting in a couple months after all. A very similar thing was said about Donald Trump, right, that he was going to ultimately have this big moment where his just popularity dropped off. He was going to have this one big gaffe or this one big moment that would cause him to tank in the polls, and that never really happened. And I worry that the same thing is going to happen with Biden, that he's just never going to really trail off. So, it's an open question still who's going to win this thing. It's down to the four major candidates, I think: Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg. But as of right now, you have to like Biden's chances. Although Barack Obama saying this doesn't really help him that much. Papa John's founder and former CEO John Schnatter has given his first major TV interview since being ousted by the company. What was it, like a year or two ago? John Schnatter, we discuss here on the program, not because he's the founder of Papa John's Pizza. We don't discuss, CEOs of other mediocre pizza chains for the most part. We just discussed John Schnatter because he likes to delve into the world of politics here and there. He first got involved in politics on a public stage when he decided to weigh in on Obamacare. Obamacare was being debated, and he claimed that if it were to pass, he would have to raise his pizza prices by 7 cents to cover healthcare costs. So his plan was to raise the pizza prices by 10 cents, which didn't really make all that much sense because then you have a 3-cent profit in there. And like, how can you complain when you're trying to do this thing that's going to give you more profit? And also Forbes magazine ran the numbers, and they claimed that he'd only have to raise his pizza prices something like 4 cents. So the whole thing was just kind of catastrophic. And any reasonable person would be willing, I think, to pay an extra 5 cents or 10 cents on a pizza if they knew that everyone at the company was able to get health insurance. I mean, I think that's just pretty standard stuff. Then John Schnatter got into the world of politics again during the NFL national anthem protests when he sided against the kneeling players and also claimed that his pizza sales were down because of the protests because fewer people were watching football on Sundays and, therefore ordering less pizza to go along with watching that football. Really, I think it was just because he had shitty pizza and people didn't want to eat it, but I don't think he could admit that to himself. Anyway, he got ousted from the company back in 2017 or 18 for using the N-word on a conference call. And the whole situation was very weird because I guess he didn't use the N-word in any sort of like insulting or inflammatory way. He was trying to make an analogy about something, but that's, sort of a weird thing to do, especially on a professional call, on a business call. Like, why would you need to do that? Why would you need to, even if you weren't meaning to be insulting, why would you have to say that? But I also think that it was probably just that the board of directors wanted to oust him anyway because pizza sales were down, and they sort of found this as the reason to do it. It was just sort of a great impetus for them to do that. He said recently in an interview with a local Kentucky TV station, "I've had over 40 pizzas in the last 30 days, and it's not the same pizza. It's not the same product. It just doesn't taste as good. The way they're making the pizza is just not fundamental to what makes a Papa John's pizza." So I think this is a surprising thing to say on a number of fronts. One, is he trying to be strategic here? Is he trying to work his way back into the company? Maybe he can sort of like usurp the board over there and get back in. I don't know. I think that ship has probably sailed for him. It's also a weird thing for him to do because he still is a big shareholder in Papa John's. He's not the biggest shareholder anymore, but he still has a big amount of his wealth, I would imagine, tied to this company. And why would he bash this company and presumably cause maybe the stock price to go down a little bit? Like, that wouldn't be good for him personally or financially. And I also think this is a kind of crazy thing to say because, wow, you ate 30 pizzas in 40 days? I mean, like, who does that? That just sounds disgusting. Like, I mean, I can be a glutton. I can sit down and have a large pizza in one sitting, and I could be perfectly happy with that. I eat a lot of food, but, like, 30 Papa John's pizzas? Like, come on. I can't imagine doing that. It's just, like, the quality of the pizza is too low. The frequency is just too high. I don't know who would do that to themselves, even if you're the founder and former CEO of a company like that. How can you put yourself through that turmoil? Maybe he is just, freaking out. Maybe he is having a problem here with food. I mean, he doesn't look like he's gained a substantial amount of weight or anything like that, but like, this just doesn't sound right to me. So I thought this was like a little funny story to wrap up the bonus show here with you today, at least for the audio audience. The video audience still gets the chess game to look forward to, which is coming up next. But to everyone tuning out now, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, a happy Black Friday. I hope you get all the best deals after you enjoy some great turkey with your family. And we will see you next week. Chess game coming up now. All right, so welcome to a special Wednesday edition of the Friday Bonus Show. I have a guest on with me today. Some of you may know him. He is host of the David Pakman Show, David Pakman. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you for having me.
All right, so yeah, I think we're going to jump into something that we've been talking about all week. Actually, the past couple of weeks we've been discussing this. We're going to do a chess game. David's been playing chess for about a year or two now. I've been playing for a couple of weeks, and I expect to get totally smoked. But I thought that this may be interesting to the audience. So without further ado, should we start this game, David?
Yeah, so for people, we'll just explain what's going on. So we're playing on lichess.org, And Pat made an account. I have an account there. We decided in advance that Pat would play as white. White, at least at our level, arguably has a very small advantage. And certainly, at least it will allow Pat to use opening principles if he has a particular opening he wants to play. And I will have to be reacting to Pat. So I think that that is the concession I made to say, we'll just, instead of leaving it to chance, Pat will play white, who moves first, and we'll just describe what's going on and we'll just get right into it. It's an untimed game, and we've agreed on a gentlemanly basis that neither one of us is going to take an absurdly long amount of time to think.
Yeah, and I wanted a couple handicaps at least. I wanted to be able to play as white because I'm far less experienced. I even wanted more time, but ultimately we just decided not to play a time
Pat
game.
wanted more than an unlimited amount of time. He wanted infinite amount of time.
Yeah, and David actually studies chess. He studies openings. You still have a chess coach, right? I don't have any of that stuff.
I haven't taken a lesson with him for a while, but I'm still playing.
Okay, should we get right into it?
Yeah, and now for some reason, Pat, your audio drastically went down just now. I don't know if you might have hit your mic or something like that.
1, 2, 1, 2. Should be good, right? Testing
Okay.
1, 2.
Yep, I think we're good. Here we go.
Okay.
Pat moving with King's Pawn opening, and I will match that as well with my King's Pawn. And then Pat bringing out his Knight as well. Pat going with the 4 knights. 4 knights. Or I'm making it a 4. Actually, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll play something a little different.
That scares me. I don't know what to do with that. Now, I'm thinking about taking here, but I don't know if it's going to be a good exchange for me. So I think I'm just going to push a pawn at this point. Maybe there.
All right.
This is a pretty standard opening so far, right?
So far, pretty standard.
I want to get my bishop in this equation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My problem is I never do the calculations in my head, so I never know at which point it's time to take.
Right.
Oh, geez. All right, well, I'm close to castling here, so maybe I'll just do something innocuous.
Right. That is interesting. Pat castling. Very interesting situation at this point. There's a move.
Jeez. I don't know if I'm ready yet. I'm so eager to attack.
Take your time.
Is that a good move?
Interesting.
I don't know if that's a good move. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that knight right there. Yeah, we're probably right that the audio audience wouldn't like this.
No, I think it was smart to do it video only. Pat thinking.
I'm gonna...
Oh, interesting. Very interesting move.
All right. Oh, man. That's undefended if I do that. Is that a move?
Oh yeah, that's a hell of a move.
You should not be nervous at all. I have very little skill at this. Sometimes I forget that the pieces have assignments too, and I'll move them forgetting that they're doing something.
Right.
That's always bad. Oh, geez. You're going to get me into trouble, I think.
There are things you could take if you decided you wanted to start taking pieces.
I'm just happy that I have a lot less to lose than you do.
I could lose the show if I were to lose this game.
It's true. Oh, man. I've never been so nervous in my life. I really just don't even know what to do. I feel like I've done it all.
As far as you're concerned, the game's over.
Yeah. It's like everything has a job at this point. Yeah, I would definitely lose on time if this was a time game. Okay, I gotta do something. Let's see what that does.
Interesting. That's an interesting move, actually, in a few different ways.
We have drawn the first blood of the game. Oh wait, is that a royal fork? No, because I can kill it.
There you go. Very good.
Okay.
That was the right move.
Was that playing for tricks on your part?
No.
Okay. David does not play for tricks.
It's actually, I'm considering a couple different things here.
Oh, me too. I have like 5 or 6 different things I could do right now. That's a joke, by the way. Okay, so obviously I just want to take with the rook, but then your bishop would take... I'm screwed, aren't I? Well, I don't have to take your knight. I could... I don't want to blunder my queen either.
Is your queen under attack?
No, but if I move it, it would be.
Oh.
That would be shameful. I'm just gonna let your knight hang out there. Unless, are you gonna do something crazy with that knight? I need to know now. All right, I'll just do that.
Okay. So I think that may be a free pawn.
Yeah, you're probably right. Oh, man. I guess dreams don't really do come true. Oh, jeez. At this point, I have no idea what I'm doing. Just moving pieces.
So there is a discovered check.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
I
there.
hate those. You got my queen now, don't you? Unless I kill... Well, I can kill that. No, I can't kill that. What have I done? So the bishop is attacking that. I think I just have to give up my rook now? No, my queen's in danger. This is horrible.
Seeing Pat go through this is just extraordinarily entertaining.
I'm screwed. If I move there, you take my queen. If I move my queen in front, you take that.
We'll look at the analysis, but you probably should have taken the knight when you had the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be chess streamers who cover this.
Oh yeah, it's going to be groundbreaking.
Okay, so I'm losing my rook, I think. Oh no, wait. I have to move out of check, so I'm losing my queen. It's over for the queen?
Well, the thing is, if you take... I mean, I don't even know why I'm participating here, but...
Okay, wait. All right, wait. I'll do that.
You'll do that. Okay, very good. So I'll take the queen.
My queen's gone.
Yeah, the queen's gone.
Yeah, that's bad.
And that bishop is now pinned.
And you forked my rooks.
The bishop isn't pinned in the sense that you could take my bishop with it, but...
Why can't I kill your knight? Oh, because it would put... Oh, no! This is horrible.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Right. So then I think I put in check.
Wow. No.
Isn't this what Thanksgiving is all about?
I'm going to start running away.
So I think now I take...
Now you take that rook.
All right. But now it is more of a question as to what happens.
Do I have any of your pieces?
You do have one of my knights.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. You know it's not looking good for me when I start asking you for advice.
Right.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm just kind of doing
That
whatever.
was a big
now.
mistake.
That was a big mistake?
That was a big mistake.
Okay. I don't think I have much time left, do I?
This would be where there might be resignations, but
Well, I'll never resign.
actually, is this mate in one no matter what you do? It might be.
Probably.
Actually, no, there is, you could protect against that.
Let's move that pawn.
Mm.
See what that does. So I have one move.
Yep. I think that's mate.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to go back on my end. Let me see if I can actually.
Well, good game, David.
Very good game. I do want to check if the right move was. Let me see if I can find it. So here, let's turn on the engine. I believe that the right move was. Yeah, so when I came in with the knight on move 14, and you said, oh, I don't have to take the knight. That's true, you didn't, but it was actually the right move to take the knight with the rook.
Oh.
And then the only problem is that then I would have been able to use my queen. I would not have taken the rook, actually, because if I had taken the rook, then you would have just taken the bishop, and I'm actually down 2 pieces for a rook. That would have been better for you. So yeah, so it actually was the right move to do that.
There's definitely room for improvement for me.
Yeah.
I'm not terribly disappointed. I did expect to lose. I'm just happy I didn't lose in like 6 moves.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I'm gonna take this as a moral victory, even though it's not an actual victory.
I would absolutely call it one.
I'll keep studying. I'll keep working at it. And who knows, maybe next Thanksgiving around that time we'll have a rematch.
I would almost guarantee that if you actually studied for a year, you would be better than me because I'm not getting much better. I've basically been equally good for about 6 or 7 months now. So I seem to have plateaued very early. And I actually played a couple games with my sister who's 15 and had never played before. And it was very clear that by the 3rd game, she was already thinking in a way where if she had proper instruction, in 3 months, she would probably be able to crush me. But in any case, she doesn't seem interested in taking up chess.
Well, here's the thing. It seems like it's one of those things where you can't just play and get better. I mean, certainly that helps, just looking at the board, looking at the puzzles that get created.
Yes.
I mean, that helps. But you also have to study. You have to study openings. You have to study famous games. You have to maybe watch the chess streamers that you watch. And I'm honestly just I have too many hobbies as it is. I'm not willing to do any of those things. And that's what makes me question if I'm going to be able to improve or not.
Being a child prodigy also lets you skip all that actual stuff that you mentioned. But in any case, this is the Thanksgiving Classic, the first ever Thanksgiving Classic. Thanks to everybody who joined us. Apologies to everybody who hated it, but enjoy Thanksgiving. And we will be back on Monday with new show, new bonus show, all of that great stuff. And no more chess for a while on the bonus show.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.